Mike Gill, State of Corruption. Those who have been following me and following me closely, I hope you notice we're moving chess pieces. I mean, with evidence, backing them in corners. Now, I told you the Attorney General's office in this state is not only completely corrupt, but their job is to cover up the crimes in this state. What I'm going to read to you is a statement from 5 reps sitting on the Family Court Committee. They call out the AG's corrupt, but they go beyond that and tell you that the guardian ad litems, and most importantly, the judges that are handling all these cases in the state are corrupt. And they wrote this to me to give to the Department of Justice, which I have, and I'm going to continue to follow up. And now that we have a new president and getting a new attorney general in place, I expect a lot of this to start following up. And I want you to continue to put, you want this investigated. Now, this is, again, the statement from Jeff O'Ligny, Paul Eberson, Dan Itza, Kyle Tasker, and Kim Rice. They are people who have sat on family court. And yes, Tasker is the guy who got arrested, single with no kids. So why the fuck was he even on the court, is what I would ask. This was at Edelblunt. I'm going to attach a video that I sat in front of the family court. These people themselves, and called it complicit. They were very upset with me. But I'm going to show you that it is, in their own words. All right. What I'm taking out now is a letter from my daughter. Maybe some of you are familiar with what I've been doing with State of Corruption. Yeah, that's what you have in family court. The judges are 100% corrupt. And I know there's people in this room that believe that, because I've talked to them. This thing with Title 4D money, you've heard it from a number of victims. You see back here? Other than a couple, I know them all. Right. The little boy and her mother that came in here, I know them too. Why don't you know them, is what I'm saying. Here's victims throughout this whole state. I'm going to read a letter. This letter was written 1/12/07, okay? It was the day before my birthday. My little girl wrote me this letter. She was 12 years old at the time. On a brisk January morning, a beautiful baby boy was born to 2 deserving parents. This baby became toddler and now has the company of a baby sister. As the family grows, this boy himself became a competitive, hardworking child. He became an older brother to a boy and another sister. His reputation in schools develops as someone who protects the underdogs. He realizes that you believe in yourself in order to accomplish things. His life at home was another world. He was a brother and made fun for his younger siblings, playing tricks and games nonstop. He gradually became a man himself, using his concepts he's learned. He entered himself in the world of business and knew where his place was for him. He started a single fish market and would end up with a chain of successful mortgage companies. He became a father, one by one, to 5 brown-eyed babies. Let each one of them grow uniquely, giving them the lessons and life skills that they would need in their lives. He gave them the freedom to find what they were meant to do in their lives, no matter what it was. The children always knew they had a father like no one other. Someone that stood up for the little guys. Someone who took the hard road in life and made something of himself. The man was a hero in everyone's eyes of his loved ones, especially his daughters. Mariah. Now you ready? I never saw that girl again. She's 21 now. You want to know why I do what I do? This is why. You know what mistake I made? I was wealthy. That's all. You want my divorce called? In front of Judge Foley, who's corrupt. $5 million. No one argued. My wife was a borderline personality disorder. I had 4 sons I had my whole time. I couldn't see her because she couldn't be left alone. Okay? Now that's the truth. Now that's 10 years later and I'm still right here fighting. That's why I know everybody here. Your family court is corrupt. It is run by the law firms in the state. Who do you think make up the judges? Who do you think make up the lawyers? Where is this Title 4D money? Because I've asked and nobody here knows where it is. They're stealing it. That's what they're doing. This isn't playing laws. I didn't study a study to tell you 2 parents is a good idea. Really? Wow. Right? They're destroying this family. Here's the method. The method is who makes the most money? Who can pay? That's who gets blasted. You're not seeing only men here, you're seeing women here. You know what Diane didn't tell you? That she went out one day in shackles. You know, Audra didn't come here and say, she came out in shackles too. Right? Because you know what they're doing? They're speaking on it. They're bringing it to people's attention. You don't think this is possible? Check the internet. I've got a video coming out. You know what we just had on Tuesday with that young lady that left, Janet? The judge had a ruling, and you know what? She lost on everything. But a big mistake. You know what happened? The defense attorney handed paperwork that had to go to her. The judge stapled it, and you know what he stapled on it? His decision. Right, was already made. Right, how's that fraud on the court, Judge Anderson? Now that's out there. Well, once I put it on the internet, he immediately fixed it. It looked like it was written on crayon. And reversed himself entirely. Now how's that for corruption? We don't doubt that? 100% I've been saying it. Anybody suing me? Anybody saying I'm wrong? Now it's on this committee. The people of this state voted you people in. You've got to know. Frank, I know you know. Me and you talked about Foley.
Excuse me, sir. You've used up your time, but I will leave it open to the committee to ask you questions so that you can get more of your message out.
Yes.
Okay? Representative Rice.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for your testimony. So, you know we know.
That it's
But
corrupt?
this is children and family law. This is not judiciary. How would you expect us to rein in the judges? is
No
what I'm
problem.
asking.
We have to call in a investigation. We can't have, we cannot have fraudulent, corrupt judges making decisions on our children, especially when we make it so random where they can make anything. We've got to call a cop. Now the AG's office know this. Now I am also making this committee aware. I have a complaint with the Department of Justice, which is why I came to people inside this committee. So this is going to be, you've heard Kathleen Kane? Look on the internet, find out who was working with her. Oh yeah, that's me. I just indicted 23 people out in Pennsylvania, and I'm going to do more here. So it's time we start coming forwards and turn around and admit we know what's going on. And I know that this committee's plugged in too. Okay? Right. But we're going to be looking to you guys if this doesn't change.
Any further? Representative Chase.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for taking my question. Maybe I missed it.
Could you speak a little louder?
I'm sorry. Maybe I missed your saying this, but are you a lawyer?
No. And you know something? Neither of any of these people lawyers, because they can't get lawyers. But I do have an ad in the Law Journal. You know what it's for? $10 million. I can't hire a lawyer for $10 million. So what is all the lawyers out there who know it's corrupt that won't take the $10 million? Right? So you know what? I'm a radio host, but I wasn't one before. I'm running for governor, and I wasn't a politician. So no, I'm a lawyer, but I kicked the ass of the New England Bar Association president, now didn't I? On video.
No more of that, okay?
That's as good as I can get, under the circumstances.
Representative Althea.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Gill, thank you for your testimony. I have a question. I don't know what plugged in means. And
Say that again?
you said that this committee was plugged in.
Right,
And-
they're getting information from these law firms on what to vote on.
Well, that's,
I'm getting it from this committee.
oh, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really need to clarify this because as a member.
That's up to the people of this committee who know that and told me to state it themselves.
Okay, well, that's them.
But I'm having it investigated, and yes, I believe that is exactly what's happening.
Yeah, please.
Yes, ma'am, you may say what you want.
Thank you. As a member of this committee, I can tell you that I'm not plugged into anything. I was in a.
I can tell you that this committee is. Okay? In fact,
Excuse me. Let the representative finish, please, thank you.
As an elected official, I work for all the people of the state of New Hampshire. And while I'm in this committee and while I'm in the House of Representatives, so I take great pride in that.
so you know of no corruption? Well, let's hold, wait a minute. Do you know of any corruption?
I would like for you to answer my question prior to me answering that. What I'm
Exactly.
asking is, what is plugged in?
What is plugged in? That means telling the committee what they wanted voted on, so that these law firms have more of an edge in court, and the people have less and less power.
Thank you, Mr.
That's
Gale.
what I'm saying.
I'd like to get back on the substance of the bill, not what's
Well,
going
if
on
the
in
bill-
court, sir.
If you're having the bill, so we're saying the bill is for the betterment of the children. Are you kidding me? What's been done? That's a Band-Aid. And we're talking to Foley, and Foley is one of the most corrupt judges in the state. There's a network of corrupt judges.
Sir, if you can't stay on the
Well, this
substance
is
of
the bill. You're trying to influence the judges to be more fair when it comes to children. They're not. It's not gonna be. It's still down to their own discretion. It's gonna be who makes the most money each and every time. You know something? You don't know, the committee doesn't know that?
Mr. Dale, we have a question here for you.
So, you support the bill, but what I'm hearing is that the bill's not gonna do anything. It's
The bill's
be
not
the
gonna
same
do
old same.
anything because the system broke. You're arranging the furniture
So
and the
how do you
house is on
support the
fire.
bill? What do you support of this bill? How do you support this bill?
I support the bill if you turn around and start arresting the judges. You start turning around. Listen, if you put, I don't care what law you put in, but if you put it inside a corrupt system, it's still gonna turn out bad.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time and your testimony.
Was that all the questions?
I see no further questions.
Oh, see, there was.
I'm sorry,
No, I,
go right ahead.
In the interest of time, are there any last points that you wanted to make?
I'm saying that this can be changed. You owe it to the children and the families of this house, of this estate. You know why you have one of actually the worst heroin problem? There's a couple reasons, but that's it. So my last statement is you've got to take action. People are looking to this committee for help. You are representing them. They see you as one of them. They don't see you as a lawyer. How I talked to the people in the committee was that I wanted to come forward with a group, some people that were already here, to tell you what's happening, to only find out that you know.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You got a question?
We have two questions. You put your hands up at the same time. Who wants to go first?
Thank you,
Go ahead,
Madam Chair, and Mr. Gill, thank you for your testimony. I'm trying to summarize, brought a lot of information forward.
Sorry, I apologize. Go right ahead, Representative.
So I'm trying to summarize, I think what you're telling us is the bill we're talking about, HB 1118, we should pass that, because it's probably, I think you would admit, it's a small step in the right direction. But then, after we pass that, we should do a little more digging. And I believe we've passed, if the chair may correct me, I believe we've passed a committee to study some of these issues, or
Yes, Representative, you're correct.
in previous, but maybe that, I'm trying to find an avenue.
You know what?
Take the
Nothing's going
appropriate
to
action.
matter too much until you clean out the corruption. If it's corrupt, you're putting just a different hat on a, you know, it's corruption. So this bill,
Thank you.
oh, it looks like a smokescreen to me.
Representative Itza, you have a question?
Yes. Would you believe that the equity jurisdiction of our family court is defined as notwithstanding law to the contrary, that means in spite of law to the contrary, that they have the powers of equity in all of their cases to do?
Are you referring to the judge?
the judge, the master, whatever, that in fact, that we state in the equity jurisdiction of our laws, of the family court, that they have the power to ignore our laws.
Well, yes. So look what happened.
They've no overseen. Excuse me, no comments from the audience, please.
Right. I mean, they left it to the judge's own discretion. All these rules and laws don't mean anything. And they are corrupt. I mean, I just gave you an example of Judge Anderson. You understand? He wrote his decision before they had the hearing and signed it and then reversed himself when he found out. So there shouldn't be a question. That is hard evidence that you have a New Hampshire judge that was corrupt and shown you that. In fact, it was against that woman who left. She would have lost her home. She came to see me. It was predatory lending, and they tried to cover it up. So there is corruption with these judges, and that's what we got to do first. Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you for your testimony. I do want to read a note. Mr. Gill, you have, unfortunately, you have offended some committee members with your allegations that we are plugging.
Excuse me, say this again?
You have offended some of the committee members stating that we are, to quote you, plugged in.
Right. I'm glad you're
The majority
offended.
of us are not plugged in, sir.
I believe you are.
You're out of order. Sit. Please have a
No,
seat.
I'm not sitting. We're leaving.
That's
And
fine, sir.
you are corrupt. And your associates think you are.
That's
And I will
fine,
make it,
sir.
and I will make it public. So I'm glad you're offended. You should be.
Why did you
Gill, if you do
silence
not
him
leave the
if you're
room
not
now, I
corrupt?
will call security.
Listen, I just said I
Thank you,
was.
sir.
Dear sir and madam, again, this is going, they are the understanding Department of Justice. We are undersigned representative of the state of New Hampshire, collectively request your investigation into the operation and the administration of justice in the family division of the New Hampshire courts. While the family division as a whole seems to operate reasonably, uncomfortably large number of the cases, serious issues defy resolution. This is what they're saying, all right? They said they tried to go to the Attorney General's office, but they're protecting the departments within the state. Exactly. They are corrupt, and they are protecting all the agencies in the state that are corrupt. We get the AG's office. We get everybody. Now keep thinking Richard Head. All right. Now let's see the accusations they've made. Guardian ad litem, systematically ignoring laws regarding the use of their services, judges accepting their behavior. They're in on it, these guardians, right? No one's going to say anything because they know the incrimination of the judges and the lawyers involved. Guardian ad litems do the same, supported by judges who threaten a parent with jail for refusal to comply with the same lawlessness. I mean, if you don't like it, I don't care how criminal it is, we're going to put your ass in jail. How's that? And seeing that I've done 10 days, I can tell you that it does happen. Guardian ad litem taking sides and giving advice to one parent. Attorneys encouraging clients to falsely accuse abuse of spouses, to neglect removal obligations of shared parenting. Sabotaging the parents knowingly, right? There's attorneys out there. Ronna Wise claiming she's never lost a case. This is how she only ran the PCC. That's who corrects these judges and attorneys. The judges knowingly allowing the loss of children's lives to visitation in such cases. Right. The judge has no... This is the committee that's supposed to be putting the laws and controlling them and telling the judges what they are, and they're telling you it's all corrupt. Children, criminal hiding of extortion evidence resulting in the loss of children for parenting visits. Parents removing shared custody because of religious beliefs. Parents remove custody on racial grounds. Randomness, inconsistency, unpredictability, such as ignoring federal laws regarding financial paperwork. Right. I mean, there's people paying alimony more money than they make, right? And if you don't want to pay it, they can put you in jail. What are you going to do? Call a cop? Randomness with regard to enforcement of New Hampshire law. Regular removal of unfit parents from children's lives. This is the money maker. These are the AG's office corruptly allowing these judges to take over our state. Children given over to the parents with serious mental issues. Failure by the state of New Hampshire to comply with fully regulated quarantine of children under guidelines, meaning they're not protecting your kids. So they go on and on about the judges in this state being corrupt. Perhaps the assistance of some serious negative effects in our people and loss of respect for the judicial branch as a whole can be. See, what they're saying to you is that if enough people get tired and fed up of this, maybe we can do something. But it's not your reps. It's not your committee for family court. They're telling you and reaching out, they can't do anything, and it's corrupt to the guardians, to the judges, to the lawyers. There you go. In their own words. Contained and controlled by the AG's office. When does this meet your level of contempt? Again, I want you to put on this. I want this investigated. I'm going to Washington in January with a new president and a new AG. This shit's got to end. And we'll do it together. I want